years. Visit our website at penflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, a beautiful Thursday morning. It's time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier not in the studio. Gary Pascale sitting in the captain's seat. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry, and good morning, veterans out there and listeners. We got a great show for you today. We got attorney Rick Hurley with us today, and he's got a special guest with him. I don't know if you want to introduce your special guest there real quick.
Good morning, Gary. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, my fiance Linda's over here in the room with us.
And Rick is going to talk about some veterans benefits in just a little while, but unfortunately we do have quite a few casualties to announce, and unfortunately, again, most of them are in the law enforcement area, and again, all these people that I'm going to announce gave their lives in the line of duty while protecting others. I'm going to start with Sergeant Stephen Owen of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Sergeant Steve Owen was shot and killed after responding to a burglary in progress. And then we have Police Officer Blake Curtis Snyder with the St. Louis County Police Department in St. Louis, Missouri. His end of watch was October 6th. Police Officer Snyder was shot and killed while responding to a disturbance. We have Agent Victor Rosado Rosa of the Puerto Rico Police Department in Puerto Rico. He was struck and killed on his police motorcycle by another vehicle. And we have Police Officer Gilbert Vega of the Palm Springs Police Department in Palm Springs, California. Police Officer Gil Vega and Police Officer Leslie Zebany were shot and killed while responding to a domestic disturbance. And we have Corporal Eugene Ransom of the Gregg County Sheriff's Office in Gregg County, Texas. His end of watch was Friday, September 30th. Corporal Ramson suffered a fatal heart attack while he was rendering emergency assistance to an inmate in a facility. And we have Deputy Sheriff John Thomas Eisenhower of the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina. His end of watch was September 28th, 2016, and he was struck by a vehicle while working a traffic accident. I have one fire fatality, and that's Captain Yafet Miller. His date of death was October 5th, and he was with the North Las Vegas Fire Department in North Las Vegas, Nevada. And we also have a military casualty. The Department of Defense announced today that the death of a soldier who was supporting Operation Freedom Sentinel, Staff Sergeant Adam S. Thomas, 31, U.S. Army, okay, of Tomoka Park, Maryland, okay. He was assigned to Company B, 2nd Battalion, Special Forces Airborne Group at Fort Carson, Colorado. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the families of all these police officers, firemen, and service members. Larry?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
So, we couldn't be on the air if it wasn't for the great folks here at WOCA who have been supporting us since I can remember, and the great folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery. When it comes to your landscaping, Bob Wines has what you need. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. Everything from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and much more. If you can't pick it up, Bob Wines will deliver it. And if they plant trees, they guarantee the trees they plant. Bob Wines has been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952, and if you want to visit them, they're located here in our own beautiful Ocala at 2610 Southeast 38th Street, or you could call them at area code 352-629-5766. And when you go down there, make sure you tell them you heard about them on WOCA. And if you show them that you're a veteran, you'll get a 10% discount. You can't beat a deal like that. Now, we got a great show for you this morning. Mr. Hurley's going to talk about benefits and stuff, but I do got a couple announcements that are kind of really pertinent to veterans and other folks. November the 19th, which is coming up quickly on us. Okay, the Don Harrison Foundation is going to have a 5K walk-run and a 10K race at 7:30 at the Veterans Park. Is when it's going to start. Check-in is going to start about 6:30 a.m. So if you want to walk or you want to run or you just want to get down there and support the charities that this is benefiting, we would love you to do so. For more information, you can contact I'm going to give you the web address here. It's dhf081549@gmail.com, or you can call 352-629-5591 for more information. And I want to announce kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing that's going to happen very shortly, in just a little over a week probably, October 25th of this year, okay, at Central Florida College Klein Center, which is that great big glass building right off of 200, starting at 1 p.m. Two of the last known survivors of the kamikaze attacks on Navy ships will be speaking about their experiences. Now, this is free to veterans and JROTC members. It holds about 400 over there. There's going to be reserved seating available for veterans attending the college. So if you're a veteran and you go to Central Florida College, you can get some reserved seating. You can make donations if you want, and that'll go to the CF Veterans Club. But definitely you don't want to miss this. Again, the last two known survivors of the kamikaze attacks will be speaking, and hopefully you're going to get more information about this over the radio in the next coming week. But it is sponsored by the college and Ocala Memorial Post 27 of the American Legion. Rick, you want to...
Sure.
I know you got some good stuff for us.
I have
today.
some good stuff. Also want to let everybody know that October is the Disability Awareness Month, something that started out at Syracuse University 5 years ago, and it covers all disabilities.
Okay, I'm sorry, we're up against the first break, so let's just take that break, and then that way we can have the rest of the show, okay?
Sure.
We'll be right back, and do you want phone calls?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you want to call in, you're invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Thursday, intervals of clouds and sun. There will be a shower or two around. Anytime at the coast, only in the afternoon over the interior. The high 82 to 86. Clear to partly cloudy Thursday night. There may be a shower in spots right at the coast. The overnight, those 62 at inland, 73 along the coast. Clouds and some sunshine for Friday. There can be a shower along the coast. The high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi. Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. So, you used to be wired, now you're just tired. You used to be thin, but now you're the heaviest you've ever been. You don't necessarily always have to take a med if your thyroid is playing dead. If you have a thyroid disorder, an acupuncture visit may be in order. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566.
Looking for the best deals on quality plants for your yard or garden this fall? Then I suggest you start with Bob Wine's Camellia Garden for their famous heirloom camellias. Right now, Bob has an extraordinary collection of those wonderful sun and shade-loving camellias starting at just $10. And how about azaleas? Bob has dwarf ever-blooming red ruffle azaleas starting at $2.99. And, of course, the semi-dwarf and regular-sized azaleas are available at the super low price of $6 for $29.99. Don't forget those fall mums. Bob's got a huge selection of fall mums in a vast array of colors. They're regularly $6.99, but you get 6 for just $24.99. Check BobWinesCameliaGardens.net and hurry on over to Bob Wines on Southeast 38th Street, just east of Lake Weir Avenue, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Ocala presents the 50th annual Ocala Arts Festival, and this year's event hosts 170 artists from around the country. Fine Arts for Ocala has brought art to our community with the Ocala Arts Festival for 50 years, and this year is sure to please. The festival includes free admission, free parking, free children's art projects, and free live entertainment. But it's only one weekend, so make plans now to attend the Fine Arts for Ocala's 50th anniversary, October 22nd and 23rd. For more info, visit fafo.org.
All right, 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. Remember, if the phone lines are open if you want to call. This is the Veterans Show, and let's toss it back to Rick Hurley. Rick?
Thanks, Larry. Larry and Gary, oftentimes, or actually every time that I'm on the air, we talk about missing deadlines and the repercussions for missing deadlines. Well, yesterday I was down in Pinellas Park and putting on a seminar for a bunch of veterans and handling their cases, and sure enough, there was a veteran there who got his decision September 1st of 2015.
Okay.
And we were talking, and I said, well, did you appeal it? He said, no. I said, what happened? He said, well, the veteran service officer said, wait about a year and then let's talk about it.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Wait about a year and let's talk about it. Well, you only have a year to file.
Oh, no.
So fortunately, I can reopen the case, but he's going to lose, when net, he's going to lose about $25,000, assuming we get him to 100%, because we can't go back to that initial filing date. We got to wait until the new one, which will be October of 2016 instead of September of 2015.
Well, can you use bad advice as part of your appeal? Because it sounds like he got bad advice.
Well, there's an error and correction procedure, but it's very, very difficult to win.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really you have to show a lot more than just bad advice. I mean, if I give bad advice, we know what happens. The ethics committee comes after me. If a non-lawyer gives bad advice on this veterans information, nothing can happen to you.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's very important to make sure. That's why we talk about getting that second opinion.
Yeah.
If a doctor says, I got to cut off your arm because you got cancer, maybe you're going to go get a second opinion, and maybe we don't need to cut the arm off. So, again, veterans, go out there and if someone tells you to wait a year, and it says in the paperwork, you have a year to file. So you've been put on notice that you have a year, but then someone tells you that, like a veteran service officer, to wait a year. Well, that's contradictory information.
Mm-hmm.
Go find someone else to get the right information. And
good point, yeah.
So don't miss those deadlines, veterans. Speaking of deadlines, we talked about, last time I was here, we talked about the Camp Lejeune issues, and currently they're considering doing the presumption connection for certain diseases for those veterans who were stationed at Camp Lejeune between the period of August 1st of 1953 to December 31st of 1987. And the diseases that they're talking about would be kidney cancer, liver cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, adult leukemia, multiple myeloma, Parkinson's disease, aplastic anemia, and bladder cancer. So if you have one of those diseases and you were at Camp Lejeune between the time periods I just gave you, August 1st, 1953 to December 31st, 1987, then it's possible that you could have a service-connected disability. Like I said, that is a proposal at this point. As of 2 days ago, October 11th, 2016, the public comment period ended. So the good news is that we're hopefully the Secretary McDonald and whoever else sits in his administration are going to start considering making those service-connected disabilities a presumption so that you can then recover compensation for it, similar to the Agent Orange.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with Agent Orange. So that in Agent Orange, for instance, if you have ischemic heart disease and you served in Vietnam even for 1 day, then it's presumed that you got the ischemic heart disease from the Agent Orange.
Was the contaminated water in Camp Lejeune, was it limited to the base, or was the area around it?
Well, I mean, there's civil stuff going on, but as far as the Marines are concerned, it was the base.
Okay.
You know, and they have since closed down the wells. I think there was 9 or 10 wells.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they've found benzene in the water. You know, benzene from the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So all this was just runoff and just being drained right into this reservoir.
My gosh.
And from this, the Marines were utilizing the water for drinking water. I had one Marine tell me that he was there in July of 1987, I think it was, and he remembers it was so hot that he went over to the water buffalo, which is where all the water was stored, and he took the water and he just splashed his body, and all he could smell was fuel. And he was just covered with that stench of fuel.
Oh my gosh.
All over his clothes. So hopefully we're going to get some progress in that area, and some of these Marines can start collecting some compensation.
Yeah.
Could I mention something to you, Rick, that I heard over the weekend that you might be able to address? I had a buddy that was in the Army with. He stayed in about 5 years longer than I did. I think I did 9 and he did 12 or 13. But, you know, we were in the infantry and we had a lot of ankle problems. Now, in his case, it got so bad they actually had to cut his ankle off, he said, or cut him off at the ankle and then put it back on with screws. Now, they put it on crooked, and they gave him like a 10% lump sum when he got out. And I got him a job as an electrician, and he worked with me for years. And then when he moved on to Oregon, well, from the foot being on crooked, after 30 years, it messed up his whole spine, and he lost feeling in his hands and everything. And he just now, about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, they finally awarded him 100% disability because he could virtually do nothing but maybe tap a keyboard. And he had been an electrician most of his life.
Well, what they essentially did was service connect him for secondary disabilities as a result of the service-connected disability, which was the ankle. So that affected the rest of his body. And thank goodness that he finally received it, but he should have received it a long time ago. You know, that's, you know, again, you hear bad stories. And someone said, I was talking to someone not too long ago, and they said, well, you get some good stories, right? Meaning me. And I said, yeah, but they all start out as bad stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get them 100% after years and years of trials and tribulations that they go through before they even get to me. And then we turn it into a good story, but it starts out as a real bad story. And we got to continue to fight.
In the case of what you do now, the bad stories that become good stories are deserving of good people. You told me one time that you represented criminals. And when you moved to Florida, started representing veterans, it was the first time people called you sir. And remember you had that conversation with me? And I thought, well, if you represented somebody who really did something bad, they maybe deserve something bad, but these guys deserve everything good.
Absolutely.
The vets you're representing now.
You know, when they enlisted, you know, we're talking about, and it's still true today, we're talking about individuals, men or female, who are 18, 19, 20 years old, and they're looking to serve their country. They're also looking to maybe better themselves. They come from primarily rural areas, and they're not looking to go to college. They're not looking to maybe take the traditional path towards jobs, and they see the military as a way to enhance their future. Then they get in there, and the next thing you know, they're being sent, you know, to places like Iraq or Afghanistan.
Right.
And stuff happens to them. They see things. Then they come home, and they're not the same. Oftentimes I see people who want to be, you know, police officers, for instance, and now they're barred from that career.
Right.
You know, so they went in with the best intentions. They signed on the dotted line. They wanted to serve their country, and now they come home and they're wounded, either physically or emotionally or psychologically. They're wounded people, and it's up to us and our government to take care of them. You know, I often say, you know, if you were working for a company and you hurt your back while working for the company, you get workers' compensation. No one even thinks about it.
That's right.
You go file it. Well, what's the difference? You get hurt while serving your country. Why shouldn't you get veterans compensation? And why does it take so long for the VA to step up to the plate and take care of these people? I mean, there was a young man, I'm not going to say his name, but very well known from Crystal River, who lost both his legs in Iraq, and he came home to a hero's celebration in Crystal River, and it took 15 months for him to get 100% compensation.
Wow.
I
I
don't get it.
See that, yeah.
You know, is there something that we're missing here? And you know, whether people say, well, it's red tape. This and I'm sorry. You know, there's no exceptions for being able to take these cases and processing them. And you know, the VA want to blame everybody but themselves. You know, they want to blame the veteran. They want to blame lawyers for filing too many claims. Let's look at the fact that the culture at the VA stinks, and there's no accountability at the VA. I just had a hearing on Tuesday for a Vietnam veteran who's been fighting for, he's from Ocala, or the villages. He's been fighting now for about 11, 12 years. From the Philippines. He was put on the front lines in 1966, 67, and 68, North Vietnamese, Cambodia, Laos. And we go to this hearing, and the hearing officer comes downstairs, and we were there for a leg injury, okay, broken leg. And she comes down and says, well, we're here for glaucoma, hernia, and prostate. I said, no, we're not. We're here for a leg appeal.
Wow.
And she goes, I don't have that on in my calendar here. So fortunately, she let me proceed with it. And I didn't have anything regarding the glaucoma, the hernia, or the prostate.
You're amazing. What you do is amazing, Rick. We got 30 seconds. You want to give out contact information?
Sure. My law partner, David Corey, he's down there in the Brandon, Tampa area. He's at 813-662-0760. Give David a call, and he's great. I would also want to refer veterans over to the Florida State Veterans Benefits. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but you can Google it, and there are so many things that you're eligible for. Exemptions for basic property tax, different things regarding your license. You don't have to pay certain fees. Hunting and fishing license, you don't have to pay certain fees. State park admission, you don't have to pay the fees. So, go Google Florida State Veterans Benefits, and you're going to see all sorts of things that if you're rated from 10% on, you'd be amazed what you can get for free.
Oh, for Hank Whittier, signing off. God bless America.
Thank you, guys.
Bob Dylan, the first musician to receive the prestigious award for having created new poetic expressions within the great American